What's happening, everyone? This is Lesky here, and I'm back with another unique FIFA 22 Pro Clubs player build. We're going to be going over this set piece specialist build that I made. It is not a competitive build, not going to be a build that you're going to be using to try hard, get a lot of wins with, just a build that's kind of fun and unique, and you can kind of mess around with and try and score some free kicks or dime your teammates up on like corners, set pieces. And the set piece specialist trait is kind of what you need to make this build work. You unlock it at level 25. It is the very last perk you unlock in Pro Clubs. You need to be max level to get it. You can still kind of make this build and make it kind of work if you don't have the set piece specialist, but it's not going to be as good. Like, you can still have crazy free kick accuracy like we're going to have on this build and what I will show you on the skill tree. I made a build like this last year. And a lot of y'all liked it, so I decided to do the same once I got to level 25 and got this set piece specialist perk. But I do want to let you guys know that I actually didn't make a free kick with this build while using it. I really can't be bothered to try and get an actual free kick. Getting a free kick in an actual game that's in a good position to try and score takes a lot of time and a lot of games. I played for about 4 or 5 hours using this build and got 3 free kick attempts. My first attempt with this build was probably the best one I had. It was like 30 yards out in the center of the goal, and the guys weren't actually shifting the goalie. When they shift the goalie, move the goalie in the middle, it's almost impossible to make a free kick, even when you have the best free kick build possible. And the other 2 times, they shifted the goalie, and then one of them was like, they actually had a real goalie who was moving around. So it was really difficult to actually make the free kick. But in those free kick clips, you can actually see the set piece specialist perk going into play. And the set piece specialist perk also gives you the power free kick, which we'll talk about a little bit more once we get to the perks. But that is huge for actually making free kicks. I do think I could have made a free kick with this build if I had some more attempts and they didn't shift the goalie. It's just very difficult when they move the goalie. And my first attempt was probably the best one I had because they didn't move the keeper. And I just did not put enough power because it was my first attempt. And I really should have just put like max power, because when you have absurd free kick actually on a build, you can pretty much just do max power, and then as long as you green time it, sometimes if you don't even green time it, it'll still go where you're kind of wanting it to go. So I kind of messed up on the first attempt, but I really just can't be bothered trying to get an actual free kick in the game, let alone make it, and hope like that these Division 1 players don't move the goalie, because it's pretty hard if they do. But this really is just a fun build, a unique build that you can try out and mess around with your club and try and make a free kick. I really do think you can easily make a free kick if they don't move the goalie, and if y'all are good at free kicks, y'all can definitely do it. So just because I didn't make one doesn't mean you can't make a free kick with this build. I actually remember scoring a free kick with my set piece specialist build back in FIFA 21, so it's definitely possible. But let's start this build video and talk about the position, the height, and the weight. So for the position, we went center mid. You can go cam. They have the exact same free kick accuracy as center mids, but the problem is center mids have more shot power, which will help a lot for free kicks. So therefore, center mid is the best position. You can be a cam, you're just not going to have as much shot power, and you won't be as successful with free kicks and long shots, which this build is very good at long shots as well. And for the height, we went 5'4". The height actually doesn't matter when it comes to free kick accuracy and shot power as a center mid. It won't affect it. So you can be 5'4". Compared to 6'7", 6'7", you won't have more shot power. I found that pretty interesting, because other builds, I believe, or like other positions in pro clubs, I believe if you go taller, you'll actually have more shot power. But really, all that's important is going the max weight. The max weight is what will get you the max shot power for a center mid build, and you'll have the exact same free kick accuracy as if you were 99 pounds. So really, just make sure you're 253 pounds. You can go up in height. It won't really change anything, but main reason we went 5'4" is just to have pace, just to get more pace, simple as that. The weight actually doesn't affect your pace either, which is kind of nice. Like if we went 99 pounds, as you can see, the pace bar is at 88. It does not affect the pace, so that's pretty nice. The only thing that'll affect the pace is the height, so that's kind of why we went 5'4", and then 253 pounds, obviously, for the shot power. So now let's move on to the perks for this build. Of course, as I mentioned, the most important perk for this set piece specialist build is obviously the set piece specialist perk, which you get at level 25, which you have to be max level to unlock it, the very last perk you unlock. But this will increase your player's abilities during set pieces, grant you the giant throw-in, which I only used like once as a center mid, it's very hard to actually get throw-ins. Even if like one of your teammates on your team has a throw-in, I remember back in the day, like in FIFA, if your teammates like didn't press any button when they got the throw-in, sometimes it would let your player walk to the ball and they would take the throw-in from them because you have the giant throw-in, which is pretty clutch, but we weren't able to get that to work. I don't know if there's like some special button combo. I don't know if you press like LT, RT, if one of your teammates has a throw-in, maybe it'll skip it over to you. I don't know for sure. If any of y'all know that, know how to do that, that would be pretty clutch. Please let me know in the comments if y'all know. But it also gives you the powerful driven free kick, which is so clutch. This is like the first time ever, I think, in pro clubs you can get the power driven free kick. I know a lot of players, and not a lot of players, a few players in Ultimate Team have the power driven free kick, and those players usually have the best free kicks in just all of the game because of the power driven free kick. It just makes the shots even harder. It also gives you the long throw in, which I don't know why you need the long throw in if you already have the giant throw in. And then it says it gives you set play specialist traits, which whatever that means. I guess that's what it's talking about is like, you know how the little circle cursor when you're doing free kicks or corners, like set pieces and all that stuff. Basically, you know how it moves and it's kind of hard to keep it steady. Basically, with the set piece specialist, it'll just stay put wherever you put it. You can move it to the top right, and then even if you let go of your stick, it will not move. It'll stay there perfectly. So that's really the one thing that like makes the set piece specialist really good. So the set piece specialist perk is very important for this build. If you don't have it unlocked, you can still try it. You would still have really good free kick actually like we have on the skill tree, but you're just not going to have the set piece specialist, which can be very important for this build and the main reason I'm using this build. For the second perk, we went threaded pass. You could switch out this perk with honestly whatever you'd like. I just think as a center mid build, or you can honestly use this build as a cam. That's what I was doing. I think this is a really good perk just to increase the over the top through balls, just the wide through balls for your build. Since we don't really have much on the passing page, it's kind of just our average base passing stats for a midfielder. The threaded pass is very helpful just to throw some through balls over to your teammates and hopefully they can get onto them and get one-on-one with the goalie. But you could also go distance shooter. I know a lot of you guys like the distance shooter because it gives you the 5-star weak foot on outside the box shots, gives you the finesse and outside foot trait. So even though our long shots are like crazy good, they're like 98 long shots and really good shot power, y'all could try the distance shooter and make it even better if y'all like. So that's another alternative for the threaded pass. Or you can also go precision pass as well if you prefer that over the threaded. And for the third and final perk on this build, we have the tireless runner, which grants a second wind and solid player traits. The solid player just basically means your player won't get injured, which is kind of useless. And the second wind, all that really does is it boosts your stamina once the 75th minute hits in the game, which is quite nice, especially for this build since we kind of had to sacrifice pretty much everything on the physical page. Don't have any stamina upgrades, so we kind of have a low stamina for a midfield build, so the tireless runner will kind of make up for that a bit. So those are the 3 perks for this build: set piece specialist, threaded pass, and tireless runner. And of course you can replace the threaded pass with distance shooter or any other perk you'd really like, maybe precision pass, but distance shooter would probably be the next best thing to do for this build. But one thing I would let you guys know is that all these perks, like I said with the set piece specialist, it's level 25. This one I think is level 21, level 21, and then this one is level 23. So if you aren't like over level 20, you're not going to have any of these perks, which you probably shouldn't even try this build out. This is basically just a build for all you guys that are max level already. So now let's head on over to the skill tree where I can show you guys the crazy free kick accuracy stat. So like I said, here on the physical page, we don't have the greatest stamina, only 77. We could possibly upgrade the stamina a bit if you want to take some other stuff off on the skill tree, which I'll show you guys. Like I have 5-star skills. Some of y'all might just want 4-star skills or 3-star skills. You can definitely take those skill points off and just add it to stamina. Like get this stamina and reactions right here. The reactions is pretty helpful. It's only 2 skill points for +4 reactions. But if you don't have enough skill points, just get the stamina. And then you can also go over here and get this strength and +3 stamina for only 3 skill points. So that's an alternative if you want to take off the some of the dribbling, like basically just the 5-star skills or just the 4-star skills. Also, you can take that off and you would have 10 skill points to add to like the stamina like this. You could do something like that, and then you have some other skill points to work with. But I like the 5-star skills, so I decided to rock them and just do nothing on the physical page. And of course, we have nothing on the defensive page. We're saving pretty much all of our skill points for the shooting page. So taking a look at the dribbling, we have 85 agility, 87 balance, 87 ball control, and 89 dribbling. I went for the 5-star skills and then got this Lynx archetype right here, which is just important on pretty much any build you use, just to get the agility and balance increases, which is quite nice. And then on this left side, what you're gonna do, if you want the skills, you're gonna get this skill right here. And then you're just going to want to get this ball control, this one skill point for +2 ball control. You're not going to get this other one just because it's 3 skill points and we need those extra skill points to put on the shooting page. And that's it for the dribbling. Pretty solid dribbling, honestly, for a midfielder, but we are a pretty short midfielder, so you'd expect to have some pretty good dribbling attributes. Now let's take a look at passing, where we actually don't have anything on the passing page. I think I mentioned that earlier. Again, you pretty much used all of our skill points on shooting, dribbling, and pace for this build. So there's nothing on passing, which is fine because the base center mid stats are actually very good. Everything over 80. And remember, we have the through ball perk on, so it'll actually increase your vision and like your long through balls and just your wide through balls in general. And it'll actually make them very good. I threw a lot of dimes to my teammate and set him up quite often with this build with that through ball perk on. But for some of y'all that are not going to use that through ball perk and want to use distance shooter, the passing might not be as good when it comes to hitting through balls and behind. And remember, if you do have that through ball perk on, you have the 5-star weak foot when you are doing wide through ball passes. So keep that in mind. And now let's take a look at what y'all have all been waiting for, the shooting page, where we have so much skill points on this page. I'm actually going to take them off just to see how much we actually have on this page. We have 49 skill points, a ton. And honestly, it's kind of a waste just because when you don't have free kicks or penalties, because a lot of the skill points go to free kicks and penalties, it's just kind of a waste of skill points. You're just not using them. They'd just be better off somewhere else on the skill tree, which is just kind of why I say this build is not really a competitive build. It's kind of just a fun build to mess around with and try and score free kicks. So what we're going to do on this shooting page, we will start on this right side and go all the way down to this finisher archetype, which will give you a lot of upgrades with all this other stuff as well. It'll give you +13 finishing, +5 shot power, +6 long shots, and +9 volleys. And then you'll go up to the top and get these long shots and shot power right here. And then you're good to go on the right side. Make sure not to get the weak foot because you won't really need it. We just don't have enough skill points for a 5-star weak foot. We're going to end up getting this weak foot on the left side. So what we're going to do on this left side is just go all the way down to the sniper archetype, which the sniper archetype is a pretty unique archetype that you pretty much won't use on any other build other than this build if you're trying to just make free kicks. It'll give you +13 free kick accuracy, +3 shot power, and +5 penalties with all this other stuff added as well. And then that's what will get you to 96 free kick accuracy, which is the highest free kick accuracy you can get in pro clubs this year. And in order to get even more shot power, what you're going to do is get this penalties and shot power right here. For 3 skill points, you get +3 shot power and +2 penalties, which will get you to 92 shot power, which is the max shot power you can get for a center mid build this year. Even if this was a 6-7 build, you'll have the exact same shot power, like I said earlier, no matter what height. It's really all that comes down to increasing the shot power on this build is the weight, the max weight, which is why we are 253 pounds. And then just looking at these stats, 96 free kick actually is the max, 92 shot power is the max for this midfielder build, and then 98 long shots is phenomenal, as well as 89 volleys. The only thing that we don't have that is very good is the finishing, even though we have the finisher archetype. If you were to make this build a 6-7 build, you would actually have like absurd finishing. The taller you go as a midfielder, the better finishing. So that's like the one upside. If you want to go taller for this build, you'll have more finishing if you care about that. But once we go over to the pace page right here, you just won't be as fast once you go taller. and we kind of had to sacrifice quite a bit of pace for this build, which is the main reason why we went 5-4, so we could actually have a respectable pace. So what we did is got the cheetah archetype, and we got this bottom left one right here, this +3 acceleration. You could possibly get this sprint speed, but I'd like to balance out the acceleration and sprint speed. So we have 88 acceleration and 89 sprint speed, which really isn't too bad at all. The build actually looked extremely rapid at times, and there was really no problems with the pace, and we kind of just had to take off this extra sprint speed. There was really no choice unless you don't want the skill moves. You can definitely take off the skill moves and add to pace something like this, and you would have some crazy sprint speed, and then you could go for like some stamina increase like that if you only want 3-star skills. And then if you want the 4-star skills, you'll probably have to sacrifice a bit more pace, like go 4-star skills, get some of the pace increase like this, and then you would have 1 skill point, or you could take that off right here and then just go for the stamina increase and get 80 stamina, which isn't too bad. So those are some alternatives if you don't have the skill moves and actually want more pace. There you go. So I'm gonna set this back to what I originally had, put the 5-star skills back, and then there it is. That is the best free kick / set piece specialist build you can make in FIFA 22 Pro Clubs this year. Please let me know in the comments if you do try this build out. I would love to hear if you made a free kick. That'd be freaking awesome. I wish I could have made one for you guys, but it's just a lot of effort and time that I'm kind of just wasting on this build, and I kind of want to just pump more build videos out for you guys. I'm starting to do those pro player builds, and I'm going to start with Messi, and then I think next I'm going to do CR7. And I know a lot of you guys commented on that post on my community page suggesting some other pro player builds that y'all would like to see, so I'll try and get to as many as possible. And if y'all have any more suggestions, feel free to write it down and reply under that community post, and I'll take a look at it and try and get to it if I can. But be patient with me because it takes a lot of time trying to get the gameplay and actually making this video for you guys. So that's going to wrap it up for this video. Please hit that like button on this video and hit that subscribe button on my channel if you aren't already subscribed. I would greatly appreciate that. Thank you guys for watching. Y'all have a great rest of y'all's day, and peace out.